Hi, welcome back. Greg here, Kiwi Wanderers. Hey, this week we're talking about the WITI alarm system. Well, it's actually way more than an alarm system. It's an anti-theft system, and I'm going to show you how it's installed in our van, what we use to install it, a wiring diagram, and also talk about where you can buy the alarm and how much it costs. So you can decide if this is something that you can do yourself or if it's best left to the professionals. Hey, if you've just joined us, Kiwi Wanderers, is Holly the dog, Sandy and I. We are relative newbies touring this fine country in our Jayco Silverline. If you would like to learn from our mistakes and experiences on the road, think about subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss a thing. Okay, so our caravan had WITI from new, and 12 months ago when we were looking around in the alarm market, the very crowded alarm market, WITI looked to be a specialist. They don't do cars or trucks, they just do caravans and trailers, and they appear to be ahead of the game. As part of the WITI suite, they have wireless lighting, so doing away with the cord between the car and the trailer. We've done a video review and I'll put a link up there. They've also got wireless brake controller, which is just, I think, it's fantastic, and we've done a video review on that too, so I'll put the link up there somewhere. Yeah. So that's why we chose the WITI system. Now let's get into installing it. I'm going to get a young gentleman in a caravan to show you what's in the box. This is the anti-theft system. Very good packaging. I reckon you can tell the quality of what you're going to get by the packaging. I feel like I'm opening an Apple product. Very well packaged in here. We've got some instruction manuals and only written in English. That's what happens when you buy stuff out of Aussie rather than China. Got a couple of remotes. We've got a horn and a wiring loom with quite a few wires. Installing this, it does look a little bit onerous with all these wires, I'll give you that, but if we break it down, it's relatively straightforward. First thing you've got to do is decide where you're going to mount the alarm. So the alarm needs to be connected to your battery power, the alarm needs to be connected to the trailer light wiring. So these things you need to bear in mind so that you can choose the correct place. I've chosen under the lounge on the left hand side. WITI recommend that you mount it at the front of the caravan, because if there's some ratbag is going to try and steal your caravan, that's where the movement's going to take place. And so yeah, mine's under the left hand side front lounge. The right hand side is actually closer to all the wiring and everything, but there's a lot of stuff there. There's a heater and a water pumps, and I didn't want them interfering with the alarm. Now please don't steal my van, because you know where the alarm is. The alarm needs to be mounted securely, facing front and back and straight up and down. Got a gyroscope in there and a motion sensor, so it needs to be positioned correctly. So once you've got that sorted, then you need to get the wiring loom out. And it does look a little bit onerous, I will give you that. What we're going to do is break it down. So we've got a power and an earth, needs to go to the battery. Measure how far that is, make it a little bit extra, then cut a little bit of 2-core wire. Then we've got to go to the horn, same deal, measure how far it is. The horn needs to be mounted on at least more than a metre away and on a different surface. So I've got mine mounted underneath the caravan, screwed up to the floor. It's about 2 or 3 metres behind the alarm, so yeah, obviously having the horn outside is probably a better idea than inside the van. Then we've got a power and an earth for the LED light. So this just illuminates when the alarm is active, just sort of a bit of an indication that your alarm is on, so you don't forget to turn it off and wake all the neighbours. I elected to put mine inside the van as I didn't want to drill a hole in the outside of the van. So it's right beside the inverter switch. So we measured the length of that, once again a bit of 2-core. Then we've got a couple of GPS wires, so if you go for the GPS option, they're just plug and play. Then all we're left with is the 7-core. Oh no, there's a purple wire. So the purple wire is used with wireless towing. So for this install, we're going to tape it up and put that off to one side. Then we're left with the 7-core. and that's basically just join a length of 7 core and measure how far away it's going to be once again. I did the wiring loom up on the bench and joined all the wires together there, soldered them and yeah, wrapped them up in a good quality conduit. Then I drilled a 3/4 hole in the floor and ran them off to the various places. So the most involved connection is obviously the 7 core trailer wire, and on the Jayco it's under the sink, believe it or not. The wiring comes down the right hand tow bar and then onto the van and up under the sink with lots of other wires. As you can see in the photo, it's pretty congested, but hey, once you've got all the cable ties undone, it's pretty easy to just join the wiring with the solder joint and wrapped it all up with good quality loom tape. We then packed it all back up and cable tied in place and put the cover on. Great. So relatively easy in the end. I do like to solder all my joints, electrical joints, because in all my years in the motor trade I've seen so many electrical faults caused by failed crimp connectors. So soldering and heat shrinking is my preference. Yeah, that's how I do it. Old school Greg. Sandy just calls me old Greg, but okay, whatever. Righto, then we run wiring to the battery, get that all connected up with a 15 amp fuse, and then run it to the LED light, get that connected, the horn, and there you go. It's all calibrated from the factory, and once you have the power to the module, the alarm is up and running. I'd venture to say that if you have a modicum of DIY skills and you would consider yourself able to wire in a 7-pin plug, then you would quite easily be able to install this alarm. Also, if that's not the case, at least you know what's involved for your electrician, so he can't charge you 45 hours to install the alarm. So there we go, it's installed. I know this alarm works really well. We've had it in our van, as I said, right from new, and we've done a review on how it works, so I'll put a link up there. Righto, the costs. It costs $600, and we are lucky enough in New Zealand to have a great New Zealand distributor, the TowPro Group out of the Waikato. They have a great website where you can buy the alarm and all the other WITI gear. They also have a page on there showing all their distributors around New Zealand. Good people to deal with and great support for the product. So there you have it. The thing I like about the WITI alarm is once you have it installed, you have access to all the other WITI gear, which is just ahead of the game in my opinion. And I know WITI is bringing out some more exciting stuff for the RV market in the future, so that'll be great. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of this video. I have a whole list of tech videos to do for tech tips, and yeah, so think about subscribing so you don't miss a thing. Thanks. Bye.